I had personally requested him not to give up T20 captaincy, but obviously he felt the workload, which is fine. He's been a great cricketer. He's very intense with his cricket.
Correct.
He's captained for a long period of time, so these things happen because I've captained for a long period of time.
The country's very own Dada, Sourav Ganguly. Sourav Ganguly, Indian cricket at this point in time seems to be at a crossroads. We have a new coach who, during his tenure as a player, was perhaps one of the best this country had ever produced. And we have a new captain in the white ball, both white ball formats of the game. As the administrative head of the cricket fraternity in India, how do you see things going from here on?
It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen in the future, but India is a great side. India is a very good team, and as you rightly said, you've got a very good coach. It's in able hands, and the captain as well. So we wish them all the best because in this game you can't predict, but cricket is a team game. So it's the players together, the captain and the coach, make it successful. A lot of these players has made it successful over the last 5 years. So I don't see any reason why they can't be successful, and they will be. So I wish them all the best, and hopefully we can achieve greater heights in the years to come.
Some big tournaments up ahead. The T20 World Cup, followed by the 50 over the limited format of the game World Cup, which will be played in India eventually in 2024. The team, as you see it now, you are hopeful?
See, this is 21, so it's 22 next year.
22, 23.
22,
yes.
And so from 22 to 31, there'll always be a world championship every year.
Yes.
In this cycle and the next cycle.
Yes.
And India will always be a contender.
Correct.
And I believe they can win. I believed in the last 5 years as well that they could win. They've had a semi-final loss. They've had a loss in the groups. But just like any other Indian cricket fan, and I believe that out of the next 9 titles, which is to follow from next October, India will have their name in some. It won't be everything, but I'm sure they're good enough, and I know that they'll have their name on the trophy in some of them.
Right. And Rohit Sharma, your next. You've been pinning a lot of hope on him because obviously for the T20 format, for the limited over format, he's now leading the squad. Is there a challenge that he has in front of him? Will he be able? Are you hopeful about him leading the way as his predecessors have?
Yeah, of course he has. That's why the selectors have backed him.
Yeah.
He will find a way to do well, and I hope he does. He would want to, as every one of us wants. His record in IPL for Mumbai Indians is phenomenal, winning 5 titles.
Correct.
He had captained India in an Asia Cup
Right.
a couple of years ago, which India won as well, and
Right.
India won without Kohli.
Right.
Kohli is such a huge strength to this team.
Absolutely.
To win a title without him speaks volumes of the team's strength.
Absolutely.
So he has success. He has success in big tournaments. He has a good team. So hopefully they can all turn it around.
You've been part of the Indian cricket squad at very vital junctures. If there is a thorough history to be written about Indian cricket, Sourav Ganguly would be at very crucial junctures. You have led the team when perhaps it needed you most. And then you turned it around when you came back as a cricket administrator. At this very juncture where we are talking about, or some of us are talking about Indian cricket at being at crossroads, is Sourav Ganguly enjoying the job? It's also a challenge for you, is it not?
Yeah, I think every job is a challenge. When I was made captain, when I first played, when I was made captain, then I became CAB president, then I'm BCCI president now. So every job comes with a challenge. It's the same thing with Rahul. It's the same thing with Rohit. It was the same thing with Virat, who did so well as a leader.
Correct.
So at this level, with such intensity, with such quality players, with so much at stake, everything is a challenge. you just have to find ways to succeed. And I'm sure people, not just me, everyone needs a challenge in life. Because it makes you happy when you do well under testing situations, because that's the way it is. It actually makes you believe that you're good enough to do it. So yes, it is, and hopefully it's not just me, because it's the president, the secretary, the joint secretary, the treasurer, the vice president. We all work together, and the staff at the BCCI.
A team game.
Yeah, so we all work together to run such a humongous operation, because cricket in India is such a big country, and it's a humongous operation to run. So it's been good so far.
Right. This bit of a controversy over the shifting of captaincy from Virat Kohli to Rohit Sharma, and honestly, the Virat Kohli fans across the country have had a bit of a disappointment. Now, you have already explained your position, and it wasn't obviously the board's decision alone. It was a joint decision by both the board and the selectors. Would you, for the benefit of our viewers, and many of them would be Virat Kohli fans, care to elucidate a bit on how it is beneficial to Indian cricket in the long term?
It's exactly what I said a couple of days ago, that I had personally requested him not to give up T20 captaincy, but obviously he felt the workload, which is fine. He's been a great cricketer. He's very intense with his cricket.
Correct.
He's captain for a long period of time, so these things happen, because I've captained for a long period of time, and that's what it is. So they wanted one white ball captain, and that's why this decision. What is going to happen in future, I don't know. It's, as I said at the start of this interview, it's a good team. It's got some fantastic players, and hopefully they will turn it around.
But why is one white ball captain important when there are different formats of the game? I mean, as an expert, if you could care to explain a bit.
A good team does not have too many leaders.
Right.
So I think that's probably the reason, and that's what it is.
Right. Talking about your challenges, it's been a couple of challenging years for you as well because of the COVID-19 situation. You've been struggling to organize international crickets in this country. The IPLs have had to be played elsewhere. What do you see happening in the next, at least, about a year from now?
We've gone past it.
Okay.
I think we've gone past it, and the bad is over in terms of COVID. Hopefully we can get back IPL in India next year, because it's India's tournament and it's a different atmosphere when it's played in India. International cricket is on. We hosted New Zealand. We're going to South Africa, West Indies and Sri Lanka will be back after that. So I think the worst is over.
But the concerns...
And the good thing is that we have been able to complete Indian cricket in spite of all this COVID issues. We're going to Dubai, and I must say that the sports authorities in Dubai have been exceptional. Yes. Our domestic cricket is on in full flow like it was before. Last year was a bit of a break because of COVID. Our domestic cricket is on. We've completed almost every tournament. The Ranji Trophy starts in January. The junior cricket is on, so that makes me... And there's been no positive cases.
Right, but there is this fresh scare in terms of Omicron and its origin from South Africa and Africa. So is that a botheration for you at this present point?
Not yet. Okay. We'll assess it in due course and see what happens.
All right. Also wanted to ask you introduced pink ball cricket in this country. What's the future?
It is the future. It's especially in Test cricket, and the simple reason is that it brings people back to the game after a day's work, because people don't have time off from day-to-day work to watch a 5-day Test match, because people have to work, and I think that's one of the reasons. And I remember it in Calcutta. It was a packed house.
Absolutely.
You see it in Australia. You see it in New Zealand. You see people just filling up the stands. Hopefully the next pink ball test in India will fill up the stands too.
Right. So, you are, hoping and looking forward to make this a regular affair, pink ball cricket?
Yeah. And I'm sure everyone at BCCI feels the same.
All right. All right. As far as the big ICC tournaments and the World Cups, with which we unfortunately have not had, for various reasons, multiple. And I'm not trying to simplify any of it. Not much success in the recent past. Do you see our current squad overcoming those challenges in the years ahead?
As I said at the start of this interview, that there will always be contenders in the next 9 titles.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty much sure that they'll have their name in some of them. It won't be all of them. They're good enough to have their names in some of them.
You are also kind of battling against time in terms of your tenure as the BCCI chief.
Yeah.
So what next, Dada? I mean, you're enjoying. I'm sure you're very good at it. You're enjoying your cricket administration. But what next for you?
It's an honor. It's an honor to be a BCCI president and a secretary. And it has a tenure. That has been the case.
It comes with a tenure.
Yeah, it comes with a tenure. So that has been the case for last 50 years.
True.
And that's what's going to be the case for the next 50 years.
True.
So do your job and move away. Simple as that.
Right. And obviously hope that someone who takes the mantle from you does an equally good job.
Yeah, there'll always be good people. You know, what you see Indian cricket today is because the past administrators have done a great job with the game. That's why it's so strong and so healthy and much above a lot of cricket which goes around in other parts of the world. We are fortunate in India. So the past administrators have also done a great job to bring it here. It's like a baton, you know. I'll be carrying it for 3 years and then somebody else will take it over.
Right. And any word on your colleague Rahul Dravid, who's taken up a very, very important job?
Yeah. Wish him all the best. I heard in Kanpur after the day's practice, he was picking up the cones and wickets and balls and bringing it back into the dressing room.
Okay.
It must have been a great sight for the cameraman and the photographers to see Rahul Dravid do that.
Absolutely.
But that sort of a person he is, and I wish him all the best. We'll support him and Rohit and Virat in Test cricket, whichever way they want, and I wish them all the best.
For Sourav Ganguly followers, there had been a bit of a scare last year. I mean, a few months back when you had repeated visits to the hospital. I'm absolutely sure you're doing very well with the kind of workload that you've taken up upon yourself. But what is it that you see for yourself, sir? In terms of work activity, physical activity, you're looking forward to it more and more?
Yeah, I'm back to full physical fitness. They say I'm new. I'm new now, so
I don't doubt that.
I shoot. I've been shooting. I've been working BCCI. I've been traveling. So far it's been very, very good.
Yes, you're pretty regular on television. So you're long hours, very difficult hours. I would believe you're returning home at night and
but it's
starting the day next morning.
It's twice a week, so it's fine.
All right. All right. And let me finish this off by asking you this mandatory television question and mandatory journalism question that everybody asks you. You must be bored of it by now. Sourav Ganguly and politics. How far it remains, the legendary gap between the cup and the lip.
As they say, when you finish a show, keep watching this. So please keep watching this.
So the space is open.
We'll see.